where the jungle come for you. Tell me what you wanna do, what you wanna do.
Florida man standing in his sunroof while driving his Cadillac down I-40.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, and of course, I have got my wingman, Culture Casino, with me for your weekly dose of Florida fun, shenanigans, history, Schadenfreude.
All the above. All the above.
all of the above. So we're so glad you guys are here with us for the Welcome to Florida show. We talk about the second craziest state in the union, a state that I like to say for all of you Europeans who think that you have nothing to do with Florida, man, guess what? You do. Mm-hmm. It's true. It's very, very true. So tonight, folks, we are going to be doing a little bit of a history lesson slash family history lesson with how the sugar industry started in Florida. It is a huge deal. So we're going to talk about that. But before I do, I see 18 of you folks in here. And right off the bat, want to thank Ruby Who for gifting that one Reina Creole membership. Thank you so very much, my dear, for gifting that membership. You are absolutely amazing. And folks, hey, if you got gifted that membership, thanks to Ruby Hoof, please do, by all means, tell her thank you.
Yes. The great Ruby Hoof. Very generous.
Yes, tell her thank you very, very much for sharing that, because if you are a channel member, guess what you got notification of not too long ago? I mean, granted, it looks blank right now, but you got access to one of my videos series that I do during the spooky season and, of course, the holiday season here in Florida. My 5 must-dos for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party at Walt Disney World. So you're going to get my top 5 tips and must-dos with a little bit of commando planning, common sense from your girl. And as your channel members, you guys get to see it before the rest of YouTube does. So definitely go and check out that video. I had a lot of fun. Me and my little ghost friends up there. So definitely do check out that video when you get a chance. And please do drop me a comment. Let me know how you like the video. It'd be much appreciated. And let's see who else we got in here. I see Kimberly Ann Hart is here. I guess she got here a little early. Good to see you. I see you, Alan Irons. I see you there as well. Let's see. We got Snortapoopus in the chat, one of my amazing mods. I could not do this live YouTube thing without my amazing mods. So props to all my mods. Love you guys. Let's see who else we got in the chat. I see Northman JH. Hello, says good evening. Well, good evening to you. Good to see you. We have got Tom F in the chat as well. Nice seeing you. We have also got Thanatos Felicitas in the chat as well. We got Mark Daly. Greetings from the Panhandle, aka South Georgia. Not to be confused with Floribama. That's much more west than that. And dang it, I was supposed to send that in the private chat. Whoops. Hold up the cards, or it's like, let me know it's time to wrap it up like this.
I'd like to say a few words about your arrest record. What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Yes, wrap it up. That's what that means.
I'll keep you on track. That's what I do. Come on now.
Thank you. I need that. I need that. We got Chef Nation who says, good evening, beautiful people. So good to see you, my dear you. And of course, Little Chef. We have also got Fallout Dave in the chat. Good to see you, my dear. John, the Beagle Dad. Good to see you. Good to see you. And I do believe that is everyone.
Got a
So,
good start. Let's go.
yes, yes. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Well, let's see. The topic actually is sugar, but this is actually sugar related. So I have to say this from FHP. Man stole over $100 in candy bars and tried to sell them. I don't know for what, but let's find out, shall we?
News: a Gainesville man is behind bars after state troopers say he stole more than $1 worth of candy from a Wawa. 53-year-old Glenn Green was arrested early yesterday morning after troopers say he stole 36 Reese's cups and 24 Snickers bars from the Wawa location on East University Avenue. They say Green left the business but came back to the Wawa later trying to sell the stolen goods to customers. Green has multiple theft convictions on his record, with the most recent happening 21 years ago.
Can I just say that is America's dumbest criminals in a nutshell right there?
Oh, well, I mean, you know, look, that's where the customers are. I mean, what? Go to a different Wawa.
I know, right? It's like if you're going, not that we condone anything like that on this channel. However, if you're gonna be a criminal, be a good one. Okay? I mean, goodness. You know what? Yeah, it probably is. But you know, let's read the rest of the article and find out if drugs truly is to blame for that. Hey, Soul Assassin, is Wawa like a Walmart for Florida?
It's a gas
Wawa
station.
can be like a Walmart anywhere, depending on where it is and the time of day it is. And it seems not to matter if it's in Florida or if it's in Philly. It seems to be the same strange kind of thing. Hey, CJ, says 100 bars worth. What's that like these days? 2.5 bars. Well, since it was 2021, yeah, it probably is. It probably is true. Hey, my sister's in the chat. Smooches, kids go back to school tomorrow. No candy bars at school or birthday treats cause allergies. Yeah, man. Can't have any good cupcake parties anymore. That just sucks. Hey, Erica, good to see you. Good to see you. And I see the major in here as well, talking about kids steal a case of Robitussin out of a Walgreens once. The cops caught him dragging it down the road. I'm so going to get in trouble saying this, but I will. Were they Smurfs for a meth lab?
Oh.
I'm just saying. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't turn to a life of crime. Anyway, Gainesville. Shout out to Alachua County. Really nothing to do in Gainesville, but why still candy bars? Gainesville man is behind bars after state trooper says he stole more than $100 worth of candy from a Wawa. Stole 36 Reese cups, he can have those, and 24 Snickers bars from the Wawa on East University Avenue. They say Green left the business but came back later and tried to sell the stolen goods to customers. I'm trying to figure out, did he have like a big, huge coat on or something like that? I mean, a big coat to put 36 Reese cup.
That's a lot. I mean, I don't know. I mean, how are you going to steal that much?
I'm trying to figure this out. Well, he probably either had a really, really long coat or some really, really, really deep cargo pants.
Something.
Man, I got these Snickers bars. Y'all, I got these Snickers bars. You want to buy? You want to buy? You want to buy? Oh, I can picture that too. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Green has multiple theft convictions on his record, with the most recent happening 21 years ago. Charged with petty theft and was booked in the Alachua County Jail.
That's not
I
good.
guess he wasn't doing it for 21 years and something happened. So I got to steal Snickers bars. I don't know. Man, it's got to be either mental illness or they're not telling us right now. So we shall see. Mark says, screw that. When I go to Wawa, I don't buy candy bars. I go straight for the fresh homemade cookies.
Ooh.
They used to have fresh guava and cheese pastries, but they don't anymore. And I'm upset.
You know, they used to have some really good snacks. I mean, they're not going to be one of the super gas stations, but they're pretty cool. I mean, like if you're in a fix, I mean, you go in there and get some pretty decent eats. I just never thought you'd go in there for candy bars, man. That's
No,
crazy.
because they're expensive too.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, you're gonna get something from Wawa, yeah. At least get like a muffin or a
Yeah.
assortment of fresh donuts.
Yeah,
stuff
you don't.
like
I mean, that's like running out of there with a pocket full of diabetes. I mean, I'm like not up for that.
Just nuts. Just nuts. But yeah, folks, I know sugar is addictive, but this is a little crazy. So
That is a lot crazy. That's crazy town.
a lot. And yeah, I can't tell if it's mental illness or drugs because it's Alachua County. It could be a number
Could be
of
either. Yeah.
it could be either or both. Hey, Q435, good to see you. Good to see Darth Plato. Y'all love Reese's Pieces. Ooh, y'all can have them. Y'all can have them. But there you go. 23 of you folks here in the chat. Thank you so very much. This is a Welcome to Florida show, and I love the types of shows where I can give you guys some history and give you guys some family history also at the same time. So for those of you who don't know, my family has lived in Florida ever since the Spaniards landed here in 1565. And my fourth great grandmother, known as Frances Sanchez, and I don't know, well, I could say this about New England families too, but in a lot of like Spanish or Latino families, they seem to use the same first names over and over and over and over and over and over again. So my great grandmother's name is Frances. Her third great grandmother's name was Frances. So Frances Sanchez, who was actually married to Colonel Francis Roman Sanchez, who his father helped out the Patriots and the Spaniards, much to the displeasure of the British in St. Augustine in East Florida. But Francis Sanchez also sided with the Patriots who made an illegal incursion into Florida in 1812. So he was basically persona non grata after all that happened. So he and his wife, they moved from St. Augustine into Alachua County. Now, the reason why she is on my radar is because her father was Henry C. Yange, or his Spanish name, Enrique Yange. But Henry Yange was born in Skidaway Island, which is right outside of Savannah, Georgia. His father, Philip Yange, a surveyor for His Royal Majesty, King George, in Savannah, Georgia. Once the revolution kicked off, he and his family were loyalists, so they left and they escaped to Florida because at the end of the 7 Years' War, Florida went from Spain to Britain. So that's what happened there. So the interesting thing about him, about Henry Yonge, is that he actually bought land, this sugar plantation called the Three Chimneys, which is, you can still see it today. And of course, Ormond Beach is in northeast Florida shores. And this is the oldest successful British sugar plantation, sugar mill, and rum distillery in the United States. So a little bit of history about sugarcane. Culture, do you know where sugarcane originated?
Wow. I want to say like the Caribbean. Am I wrong?
Actually, yeah. I didn't notice either. I thought it was too. I thought sugar was always indigenous to the Caribbean, but no. Apparently, sugarcane first recorded in China. The Chinese learned how to refine it from the Indians in India. And of course, Spain got a hold of that as well, but also Great Britain. Spain did not bring sugarcane cultivation on a mass scale to Florida. They brought it to their islands in the Caribbean, as did the French, which is Haiti, their money from sugar. So once the British got a hold of British East Florida, they brought sugarcane production to sugarcane saplings, all of that, and started sugar cultivation in Florida. So this one originally granted to a wealthy and influential Scotsman named Richard Oswald by King George III in 1764 under the direction of the King's Florida governor, James Grant. My fifth great grandfather, Francis Roman Sanchez, and the governor did not get along very well at all. But the King's Florida governor wanted beef for his troops, so he had to look the other way because my fifth great grandfather sold cattle. He was a cattle rancher, a lot of money. So that's what he fed them. So eventually, Oswald had it, but Oswald was pretty much an absentee, how would you say, an absentee tenant? Well, not tenant, but absentee owner, so to speak.
Landlord.
Yeah, landlord. So he wasn't really there that often. So after the end of the war, because Revolutionary War went from 1776 to 17. Dang, I'm drawing blank. Was it 1780? Ah, crap.
Don't ask me history tonight.
I'm so forgetting right there. But I do know this. 1783, they were all out of there because Spain said, hey, you can either stay, convert to Catholicism, whatever, or you need to get the heck out. So some people stayed. Henry Yonge stayed for two reasons. One, he was rich due to slave labor and the sugar plantation. And although he was a British citizen, he was a Spanish citizen. He decided to become a Spanish citizen. He also had, I cannot vouch for the legitimacy or not, of course he had, my fourth great grandmother, Francesca Panchita Young. That was her. So he was awarded 850 acres, including the Three Chimneys on the Mosquito Halifax River. If that's actually correct, Mosquito, because that place is it's full of mosquitoes. So he worked there for 6 years to develop it, but abandoned the area in 1809. So 1809, Florida was still a Spanish colony. So he had it for that long. And so now it's actually been restored. And again, the oldest successful British sugar plantation, of course, it's American now. Sugar mill and rum distillery, because one of the byproducts of sugar production is the molasses used to make rum. I'm just saying. Just saying. That's pretty much it. Thank you, Scott Westbrook, so much for gifting those 10 Reina Creole memberships. I sure do appreciate it, my dear. Thank you so much for your generosity, spreading the love. I appreciate that. Thank you. Scott's like, man, Scott and Ruby killing it with these gifted memberships.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
Amazing.
you, thank you, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you very, 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 very much. Let's see. European food was notoriously bland before exploration.
That makes
Yes.
sense. Yeah,
Yes.
makes sense.
Prime example is I went to a Spanish restaurant and I had chorizo sausage, and I'm just like, the taste keeps missing my mouth. I'm just like, there are worse things, but no. And I got asked, well, why do you not like it? I said, it's really not spicy. It's kind of there. And they asked me which kind of sausage I liked. I'm like, oh man, andouille. Have you ever had andouille sausage? Well, andouille is the result of, hey, that chorizo, not so good. Why don't we kick that up with some Cajun spices and some other stuff and put it in? And that's how you get andouille sausage. So a lot of not only spices that were imported to the New World, but also native ingredients that were available at the same time, because you couldn't depend on the supply ships all the time coming over here. So that's how that happened. Okay, thank you, my dear. I appreciate that. And Soul Assassin says, I said it before and I'll say it again. If you go to a family reunion, don't be surprised to see the Raider there. Yeah, the more I discover about my family and I do research, the more crazy stuff pops up. And the more of an insight I get into how people left and why people left and went where they did. In the case of British East Florida, let's just say the British Crown had another place to dump their convicts. Yeah, that is true. They brought them to Florida as well. Thank you, Northman. 1783. Thank you. Because Spanish Crown did a census in 1783, and the reason why the census of Spanish Florida in 1783 is so important is because it documents everyone who lived there at that time, where they were from, what their ethnic background was, and what you got to see is a cornucopia of people from like pretty much everywhere, including some free mulattoes who owned slaves too. Yeah, that happened too. But it is very important. You get a very good insight into what St. Augustine was truly like. If you didn't like Spanish chorizo, they failed to utilize it correctly. Go and show. I think they utilized it correctly. It's just when you have a certain palate, it can be good on a technical basis, but you're kind of just like, nah, it's all right. I'll pass. I'll pass. Every time I've had chorizo, I've like had to combine it with other things like Monterey Jack or pepper jack cheese. It's just to me it's too bland. But that's a common Creole complaint. It's European food is it's too bland. Although you have to thank the Spanish for smoked paprika. You cannot make Cajun spice without Spanish smoked paprika. Okay. It's freaking awful. You have to have that.
I've smoked paprika in the cabinet. It's always there. Always.
Oh,
Always.
dude, I'm so jealous. Smoked paprika smells amazing.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. It's so good. So good. So good. So yeah. So that's how sugar industry got started here in Florida. Did not go on a large scale for quite some time, because over here in the Americas, I mean, it wasn't a lot of it was too far north to raise sugarcane on a regular basis, like my family. And here's like sugarcane. See, this is what I'm used to seeing in Palatka and also some other places. My grandfather, dang, he had a machete in the house. He would go in the backyard and cut sugarcane. People would mostly raise it just, just to have it at home. Sugar, refined sugar was extremely expensive. So if you had refined sugar, you would use it for baking, but for every day, for like sweetening things from like lemonade to coffee to other things, you would cut your own sugar cane and press your own sugar cane to get the sugar cane juice. Sometimes you didn't even press it. You would just peel. Because I remember it now. It's like I remember my grandfather doing this. He had to switch and get a smaller knife, not machete, and he would peel the sugar cane for us grandkids and put like the sugar cane sticks in lemonade that my grandma would make, and it was absolutely delicious, but not on a large scale for the most part. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. Good to see you, my dear. And yes, I know Jolly's channel. I watch that. Watch them come to the South and they got an Arby and all they did was just eat. So, oh my gosh, they just ate Southern food. Their faces when they had gumbo and red beans and rice and crawfish, and I love their channel. They are awesome. You're awesome. And yes, you cannot have deviled eggs without smoked paprika on the job. And just that's a culinary foul right there. You don't do that. You don't do that. Hey Dylan, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. So yeah, in addition, also when it comes to the British, another famous, well, I'll call him infamous, well, Dennis Roll and Dr. Andrew Turnbull were among British planters who attempted to grow sugarcane on their Florida estates. Remains of Turnbull's operation at New Smyrna are still visible today. Sugarcane production by hand is extremely labor intensive. And the reason why that I say Dr. Andrew Turnbull is infamous because Turnbull had his proxies go to Minorca to get Greeks to move here to Florida. Once they got here, they were effectively treated like slaves for the most part. It's all documented. They were basically worked to death, weren't provided for really shelter-wise or food-wise. And there's documentation from one of the priests who ministered to the Menorcans, wrote about their condition. But strong people, the ones that remained, they survived. Their descendants still live there today. But that's a very, very, very depressing and upsetting tale, but also to show sugar cultivation was very, very labor intensive. And when you're malnourished and all of that, can't really flourish very well. So this is all still here. And then of course, U.S. took possession of Florida in 1821. So you had planters from Virginia and the Carolinas moving into North Florida. So they had investors who were investing in money, bringing all their money and equipment to grow and extract sugar. So here, you have the press right here, sugar cane, and you got like your best horse here, your best workhorse, basically walking around, working that sugar cane press and press that out. So this is a cane grinding machine. Mule walks around, activating the rollers, cane stalks fed into the rollers, crushed and purged on the other side. juice contained was collected and diverted into a vat or barrel. But unfortunately, North Florida especially, is suspect to a lot of freezing, and sugarcane does not to be cold like that. It's perennial, but don't really like cold. So large scale sugar cultivation you really could not do in that particular area of Florida, which is why if you have sugar cane, you just grow it for personal use. There was no way really to commercialize that. So what eventually started taking over, of course, was sugar again from the Caribbean. Most prominently, and I'll ask Culture because I like asking them. So Culture, after you couldn't have after large scale sugar cultivation in Florida was like, nah, not profitable, not going anywhere. Where were we getting our sugar predominantly from?
I'm going to say the Caribbean again. Probably wrong, but
Oh no, you are right.
oh wow, okay.
You are right. Which
Wow.
country? I'll ask you that. I'll say which.
Oh, I was going to say Jamaica, but I'm probably wrong there too. Could it be the DR? It could be the Dominican Republic. No. Trinidad, Tobago. I don't know. You want me to go through everything? The Virgin
I'll give
Islands?
you a hint. There's red in the flag.
That does not help.
Well, there's red in the flag, and there's a red flag. It's there's a triangle in it of red, and it's got a star in it.
I don't know.
Home to one of the most infamous dictators.
Oh, Cuba.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense because it's so close to Florida. It was plenty hot down there. So yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Mark did it. Yes, we were getting it from Cuba. Darth Plato. Yeah, Puerto Rico was too small of an island. Cuba is, I want to say 200. Is it 200 miles? The perimeter. Is it? It's more like 300 or something like that. Cuba had a lot of farmland, so they raised a lot of sugar there. Puerto Rico was really small. Puerto Rico was more like the money seat, so to speak.
Right.
But Cuba had a ton of sugar plantations,
and it's super. I mean, it's a big island. It's 42,000 square miles, so it's not small.
No, it's really not small at all. Let me blow this up. So I'm going to show you. So here we are,
and it's really close.
Right
it's really close.
Here we are. See, there's Key West, right? There's Key West up there, and there's Havana.
Yep,
right there. Havana.
That distance is what, 77 miles or something?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Really close. It's less than 100, which is why when you had so many Cuban refugees were risking the passage to get to Florida.
Yeah, maybe even closer than that. I'm looking it up because I don't want to be wrong, but I for whatever reason that always stuck in my head. Oh wait.
Snort saying 90 miles.
It's real close. Yeah, 90 miles. 90 miles. Yeah. I thought it was 72 at the farthest point, but I don't mind being wrong. But yeah, I think 90 miles. Yeah. See, our chat's beating our brains in today because they know more than we do.
That's why I love having them in here. You know, they're awesome. They're awesome. Darth Plato says my downstairs neighbors fled Cuba on a boat in '59 after Castro's takeover. Yeah, Castro's takeover. One of the interesting things about it, and I'm gonna have to talk about this at another time. For everything that happened, it seemed like first of all, you had the people who had the means to take their money and leave, although some of them weren't even allowed to take their money. Some of them had their property and everything burned, and they were just barely able to escape out of Cuba. You had some people there that were too poor, they couldn't leave, and some people who just risked it. So it's history about Cuba. It's like I didn't really know that much, because all the Cubans that I went to school with. Here's my strange college experience. Okay, I didn't know that there were poor people from Latin America until I went to like Los Angeles. Why? All the Latinos that I went to school with that were from out of the country were kids of government officials. Yep. Kids of government officials, and they had a lot of money. So on the flip side, a lot of Cubans that I knew that I went to school with were like second, third generations who really don't remember that much, from the island. I'd have to like hear from their grandparents stuff that happened there. And when I asked my parents about Cuba, they're like, oh yeah, people used to fly to Cuba like they would go to Atlantic City. I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, let's see. Key West to Havana is about 150 miles according to Google. So, to Havana. Okay. Not that's to Havana, probably closer to Santa Cruz del Norte, but that's where we were getting all of our sugar from.
Wow.
Until you had that revolution pop off, and we're actually going to pick up from that in a little bit. Let's see here. We've got Mark Daly. So good to see you there, my dear. And let's see. I'm like trying to do 15 things at once. Castro is why Cuban Americans are the only major Hispanic group to trend GOP instead of Democrat. They're more anti-communist than we are. Yeah, not to get political, but I will, because it's an experience that I've lived. I have noticed that the closer the generation is to when the revolution in Cuba happened, the more GOP they are. I've seen a good percentage of the ones that are, much younger, not so much. It's kind of like, I don't think you really want to forget what happened on that island. If you want another perspective, what happened with that island, you're going to have to put on the English subtitles. But I think that's actually good. There is this telenovela that was done of the life of Celia Cruz, who I thank God for Sesame Street, because that's how I found out who Celia Cruz was, Queen of Salsa. Watch that telenovela, because all about her story, how Castro was basically shaking her down for money, paid for her house like 3 times over, to the point where they were just like, we have to leave Cuba. But that is a really good story to watch, because communism doesn't just stop with one thing. It keeps asking more and more and more and more. She couldn't even go back to Cuba to bury her mother. Yeah. It was something. It's a really good really good telenovela to watch. And historically accurate too, for the most part. Hey, Dad Man Walking, how you doing? So glad that you're here and hanging out with us, my dear. Let's see. Hail late, but better than never from the greatest state in the union. I attended a sugarcane festival in White Springs, Florida a few years ago. Oh, yeah? Nice. I didn't even know Florida has festivals for dang near everything. I think about it. My favorite being the Blue Crab Festival, Catfish Festival, Strawberry Festival, Azalea Festival, Blueberry Festival. Everything but a mango festival. That's probably
They probably got a mango festival. You don't know.
I think they do. Just depends on where you are. It's just because people used to have these festivals as like social gatherings
Yeah.
and and stuff like that, and to celebrate seasons, and you
Harvest
don't really.
harvest harvest celebrations of all kinds are traditional in the states. I mean, especially way down south in Georgia and Alabama and places where like they're famous for an individual crop. So
Mhm.
I can't imagine Florida didn't have like 100 of them because they grow everything in Florida.
Man, I had when I would drive on 17. Um, I'll show you because there's literally like nothing. If you want to have a fun time, just drive through Orlando, and then once you get to Sanford, hit like 17, and you go through a lot of these like towns with one or two stoplights, like Pearson. That's the fern capital of the world. Literally 90% of what they grow are the ornamental ferns that you buy from like Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever nursery it is. Then they have like the bass capital, crab capital, and the
Hey, yeah,
festivals.
yeah, you got to talk about Plant City.
Yes, Plant City. Definitely Plant City.
It's
With
called Plant City for a reason.
yes, strawberries and all kinds of other things
Yep.
like that come from Plant City. So those of you up north when you're shopping in the dead of winter and it's like, oh, look at all this nice, beautiful, gorgeous fruit. Yeah, yeah, from Florida. And 9 times out of 10, Plant City. Plant City, Florida. But yeah, you take that 17 and it's like up here in the middle of oh my gosh, middle of nowhere. There's Lake George, there's Seville. Yes. Oh, there it is. Pearson. There's Pearson. There's Seville. Yes, named after Seville, Spain. Crescent City, Lake Como, not Lake Como, Italy, Lake Como, Florida, Satsuma, San Mateo, and did I miss Stark? Oh, there's Andalusia. Yeah, Stark is around here somewhere. That's where the state prison is. That's how I know I'm getting close to Palaca. I say it very facetiously, but yeah, it's true. You have to have those landmarks and stuff, to know where you are. Hey, Fallout Dave. Yes, I know about that too. Again, a lot of people I went to college with were from Venezuela, and their families were very rich due to oil. I'm kind of worried about how they are now, but when I tell you they were swimming in it, yeah, yeah, they were literally swimming in it. Absolutely. Venice has a shark tooth festival too. Ooh. Does Tarpon Springs have a sponge festival? That may be something to look at because there are a lot of Greek immigrants who settled in Tarpon Springs, and so Tarpon Springs is also famous for like the sponge divers. So that's why I asked. Am I part of the Appalachian Mountains? We have moonshine festivals. And yes, Dadman 55 is right. Watch your speed limit in those towns. They do great. Yeah, they will drop very quickly. It'll go from like 60 miles an hour to like 25. And they will not give you any warning whatsoever. Well, you will get a warning. You'll see the lights and sirens in your back on your rear window for sure. Yes, they go up and down without any warning. I mean, I told y'all that story how I got caught. I'm like, what? It was just 55 miles and now it's 25. I barely went like 50 feet. Well, anyway, but yeah, they do that. Yes, it's called Oil. Yes, yes, yes. Dab and Walking really should have a channel meetup in Palaca, Florida, either at Walmart or Corky Bell's. I vote for Corky Bell's. We can get, let's see, we can get all kinds of stuff, fried gator, um, all of that. Because oh my gosh, Corky, y'all make me hungry now, and I haven't even had dinner yet. Corky Bells is awesome. If you go on YouTube and there's this guy called Tug Trash, all right? All he does is like fishing and crabbing videos, and then whatever he and his girlfriend catch, they'll usually cook and stuff because he's a tugboat operator in real life, but his channel, all he does is go fishing like for crab and shrimp and all of that stuff. And one time he was fishing and the weather got really funky, but they were really hungry and they went to Corky Bells to eat. So shout out to Corky Bells right there. Black it. If y'all come to Tallahassee, we can meet at the Hoggly Woggly. Too funny. Too funny. Well, when we talked about Cuba, there are a pair of brothers, the Fanjul brothers. I probably said that wrong. They escaped Cuba and came to Florida. They escaped Cuba like the Bacardis escaped Cuba. So for those of you who think Bacardi is American or Italian, it is not. Bacardi actually started in Cuba. Then they moved their operations to Puerto Rico. So no, hate to tell you, but But Fanjul family, they moved here to Florida. They started large scale production because of the embargo with Cuba. U.S. needed more reliable large-scale sugar operations. So you have sugar operations in Hawaii. You have sugar production in Louisiana. Here in Florida, we also have a ton of it. And where it is actually done, and I just lost like all my darn tabs here. Hate that when that happens. Where's my map? Daggone it.
Uh-oh.
I had my map. My map is gone.
Oh, no.
No worries. I get it back.
All right.
I get it back. Because I want to show you where it is. There is one place in Florida. And that's why, because people are probably like, okay, how come? Why is it that we don't see sugar mills? That's because all the sugar mills are in one area. So you see this big, huge lake down here? This is called Lake Okeechobee. And if any of you have ever seen that one episode of CSI Miami, where they had to investigate a homicide that happened in a muck area, this is it. Lake Okeechobee, right around that area, that's where they grow sugarcane. Why? This soil around here is called muck. It is extremely fertile. And sugarcane grows like crazy, so much so that it's just limited to this area here. Pretty much, actually up there like where Palm Beach is, just that area there of Lake Okeechobee produces sugar. And because of that, Florida produces about, I want to say 65 to 70% of the sugar consumed and used in the United States. Just from that one particular area. So when you have sugarcane, here's what you have when it comes to producing sugarcane. You've got 75% of it, which is water, 10%, which is the sugar, not the refined sugar. When you separate the molasses out, you have something called turbinado sugar, and that's like the thick brown crystals of sugar. If you let the rest of the water evaporate, that's what you'll get. So that's the unrefined sugar. 5% is molasses. 10% is the sugarcane fiber known as bagasse. Yes, that is the real thing, and they use that to power the mill. So let's see. Yep, and Florida Crystals. Yeah, they're the only organic sugarcane farm in the U.S., but they also have their hands in a lot of other areas of farming land in Florida. So, yep, and they use barn owls. So, yeah, these folks, big. This is why they call it big sugar, because when the embargo happened with Cuba, the rise of big sugar happened in Florida as an industry. So. Yeah, if you ever go to the market and you see Florida Crystals, which I do, buy snickerdoodles. Ooh, I
There you go.
love snickerdoodles. That's one of
There
my
you go.
favorites.
There you go.
That's one of my favorites to make. I like getting, and you can pretty much get this anywhere, any supermarket. You'll see like generic brown sugar, light brown sugar, dark brown sugar, molasses. Florida Crystals you'll see as well. So I love Florida Crystal. They have organic and non-organic, and see here you have raw cane sugar. That's exactly what it looks like. Raw cane sugar can be how do we say, milled down so it's smaller grains if you want finer grains, or I don't care. I just get the I just get the regular ones that have the large crystals in it, and I just put it on put it on everything. It is it's not refined, and much better for you. So yeah.
Yeah, you
That
want to avoid overprocessed food, and refinement adds a process to it that really maybe we're finding out is incredibly unhealthy. So the healthiest sugar in the world is pure cane sugar, and I'm telling you, Florida Crystals might be one of the few that you can get here in the States easily. So everywhere else in the world, by the way, you get proper sugar. Just so you know.
Yeah, that refined white sugar, that is how would I want to say this? Wow.
Maybe not the best for you.
It is definitely not the best for you. It's the presentation. It's the sugar so that it doesn't color the rest of what it is that you have.
It's the uniformity of it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of the white napkin of sugar. Because how now it's like you don't really get white paper napkins unless it's some kind of hoity-toity event. But for the most part, people are like, yeah, I don't mind the napkins brown. What the heck? As long as it just, does what it's supposed to do. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And have you seen it but not tried it? Have you heard of sugarcane juice? Yes, I have. Depending on where you live, you can buy sugarcane juice in a can. I use that to make a proper mojito. You cannot make a proper mojito with granulated sugar. Somebody tried to give that to me, and I'm like, what the heck do you think you're doing? That is not a true mojito.
It's actually kind of one of the starters, I think, in making a quality caramel. So, yeah,
I'm gonna have to look that up. I love caramel.
I haven't done that in a long time. I'm trying to go through, and in my head, I'm trying to recall what it is to start getting going on that. But yeah, like I said, I mean, if you can get pure sugar, get pure sugar. Do not avoid it. It is very good for you. I mean, as far as sugar goes, I should say.
Yes. It's like the Jamaican lady told me. She said they had lemonade all the time, but they made lemonade from brown sugar.
Yeah, well, and you have to remember, I mean, you also do when you make sugar syrup. That's the only way to do it. Because that way, when you make your sweet tea, you put the proper sugar in it. Because that's the proper sugar. You got to get your sugar done first. You got to get that done right. Yeah.
Yes.
Sugar syrup.
Sugar syrup.
Mm-hmm.
And the hot wood with the hot water, sugar syrup in there, and put the tea bags in there, put the lid on, don't touch it. Don't touch it till it cools. That's how it works.
There you go.
So, folks, we hope you have learned something about sugar production in Florida. We love talking to you guys. Love what you guys help us out with when, brain farts and we get stuck. What you got going on, Culture? Let's focus.
Well, actually, just in a few minutes, about 10, 11, 12 minutes from now, we've got the Late Night Culture Show. Hopefully one of these days when Lorena's not doing too much, she's so busy. We'll get her back on there. But I want to have a quality ladies' night. So I'm going to reach out to the girls one more time and say, hey, I want you on. And then y'all, when the ladies get together, I disappear. I ask a question and I go away. And with the new format of the show, I think we're going to need some leaders there, and I think Lorena is a good one. So thank you, Lorena, for letting me on tonight, and I hope to see all of you join us over on Late Night Culture in just a few moments. So I have to do a costume change. I'm going to put on the suit. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah, and guess what? I'm sending you guys over to Late Night Culture, so don't go anywhere. Once this stream ends, YouTube, if they fed the hamsters right, and the servers will send you over to Culture's channel. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so very much. Remember, the stream becomes members only in 48 hours. You guys have an amazing rest of your day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Bye.
Bye.